Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. Not going to talk too long. I had everyone vote on 2 cards and I decided to do 3 because there was one that won it and one that was in second, but there was a third one, the autumn leaves one, that a lot of people wanted to see, and it's also a little bit different than the other 2. So we're going to make 3, so I don't want to waste a lot of time talking about everything that's been happening in the last week. So let's get started. Okay, so these are the 3 we're making. This was the most popular one. Lots of red on here. We'll make that one first. We're going to make this cute little tree and presents second, and then here's the autumn one. It's a little different than the other 2 because it's a bigger size on this. So that's why I thought, well, I'll do it anyway. And there were, lots of people who wanted to see it made anyway. So that will be our last one. So, all right, let's get going on this green, or this red one. Very red. Lots of stuff on it. I've already die cut most of everything. We're going to have to die cut, obviously, I'm going to show you how we do that. What we're going to do is and I've got instructions for this. I wrote it out as best I could, but it's obviously a little better for me anyway. Somebody may be able to read it and be okay with it. Okay, good, gotta have that. So I got my standard card base here. This is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. So that's our base. And then I have 2 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 pieces of white, okay? Everything we're using for the base and what, they're all the same size, and I have all that on the measurements, okay? So what you want to do to make, this is called Pop-Up Slip and Slider, and I got the idea from Jennifer McGuire. Everybody knows who she is. She made a card many, many years ago doing this, and I was like, oh, I have so many ideas. I mean, I've made so many cards. I'll share all of them with you. For this one, I'm using, this is the Textured Notes dies, and I'm going to use this one, which is the 4th largest, or 4th smallest. So that's nice to know. Either way, 4th or 4th. So for my first piece, what I'm going to do is I'm going to center this. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit so you can see a little better while we're doing this. I'm going to just center this the best I can on the base here. Does that look about right? Let's center it on there. And I'm just going to tape it down. I'm going to hold it up next to me so I can make sure that it looks right. That's a little crooked. It needs to go. Get the sides right and the top and the bottom right. All right, I think that looks right. Okay, so what I'm doing just with a pencil is I'm going to trace the insides of it. Okay, and I am going to use my Misty. If you have a Stamparatus, which obviously was one of the best things they ever had, and they don't have it anymore, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in the corner. And did I not put these on blocks? I did not. Okay, so what we're using is, it's obviously the one suite that's like the first suite they show in the mini catalog. We're not using this stamp set, but we're using this one. And we're going to stamp and emboss. And I gotta get blocks. I thought I had everything. I guess I don't. Oh, I don't need, never mind. I don't need blocks because I'm putting them on this. Okay, never mind. All right, so we're gonna do the Mary first. And I do the measurement, I trace that so I can get this on here. So it looks right. Always going to pull your paper up. Okay, I'm going to use my embossing buddy here and my Versamark. I want to make sure I got this. Okay. All right, hopefully that got it all. Let's see, yeah, okay. We're doing everything today. We're die cutting, we're stamping, we're embossing, we're doing everything. All right. There's our Mary. This paper has so much gold in it that I just could not think of any other way to stamp the sentiments on this except to emboss them in gold, because you can see, like, with the paper, it just got so much gold in it. All right, we're going to move this. We're going to use it many, many times, but all right, so we got that. I'm letting it dry before I start erasing all this on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this, and for this one I used the nested dies, and I used, I think it was this one. Let's see if that's right. Yeah. So I'll erase the pencil marks in just a minute. Did I use that? I did use this size, didn't I? Yeah. Okay. Put it right there on the top. Need to get so both the edges are hanging out, because I don't want it to. Oh, I think that's how I did it. It was like that. I made this. This was the first one I made, so. All right, let's hope this works. Okay, got my. You could cut it however you wanted. You could. You'll see with the other two. I just. Oh, for the next one with the tree, I just cut it with scissors. I should have used the bigger one. Oh, I hope I did this right. Yeah. Oh no, you know, I think, never mind. All right, so there's that. I think I did it with the bigger one, so I hope I don't have to do this again, but, all right. Always got to use these erasers. These are the best. Okay, so here is our, so it's going to go on the bottom. See, I think I used the bigger one, but that doesn't make sense because, oh, I did. Okay, sorry guys, we're going to do this all over again. I thought I did it right, and I didn't. Sorry. I want, because this goes on the bottom of your other, another piece, and so I don't want it to be anything but flat and straight. So if that makes sense. All right, we'll do this again. We'll do it fast. Okay. And I've already got, where did I put it? It's right here. All right. Versamark. The heating should go faster because the gun was just used. That's one of the nice things about if you're doing a lot of this. Once you start using the gun, if it stays warm, it goes a lot faster. Oh, and I didn't do the embossing buddy on there. And amazingly, it's okay because the embossing buddy in Florida should be used all the time. Okay. Alright, let that dry, and then we're going to use this big one on it. Yeah, that way it goes off the edges and you don't... It's still going to cut the bottom a little bit. But I got a little piece of paper there, so it should be okay. Tape over here somewhere. Oh, it's right next to me. Okay. Not that one. This one. There we go. That makes more sense because then it can go directly on there. It got a little bit cut off on that part, but that's why I have that little piece of Designer Series paper down there to cover that up. Okay, and I need another piece of white because I just used another one. So 5.5, 4 1/4. All right. So what we're going to do first is we're going to put some paper on here. You don't have to put paper on here. It makes it a little harder when you start to cut it. But, okay, so we're going to glue this down. This is the most beautiful. I love this. If you watched my video on the new mini catalog products, I was the most excited about this piece of paper. Okay, and then we're going to put this one on top. Okay. So far that's where we are. And I can go ahead and put this on there. That will cover up that. See, now you don't see that mistake, or no, it's not really a mistake. I couldn't really get it not to cut off from somewhere, so you put it on the bottom, then you don't see it. All right, so we're going to take this back again and center it as best we can. This is why that's why we trace this, so that the sentiment would be where it needs to be. Okay. It's a little. All right. Now we're going to die cut this, but we're doing it differently. I mean, we're still die cutting it, but we're not die cutting it the whole way. Okay. So on the edge of the cutting plate, I'm going to put it, so can you see? I'm not putting it all the way over. I'm lining it right up to the top so it won't cut the top off. I'm going to have to do it again on here. Hopefully you can see it. Just putting that plate right there so that the top will not be underneath the plate, so then therefore it's not going to cut. You could just do, you could just do this like with a trimmer and cut the sides if you wanted to. It might be a little harder. I have those. We used to have some of the best rectangle dies. Okay, so that's a little thicker because you got that extra piece of paper on there. As you see, it stops right there. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to score the top of that because we want it to fold. I'm just going to use my trimmer. And this is about an inch, and an inch, and it's about an inch. Well, let's see. Let me get my ruler. Oh, where's my good ruler? It's here somewhere. I know it is. Oh, yep, here it is. I'm making another card behind me, so my table's a mess. That's about an inch. That's about an inch. Okay, so we're going to put them all the way up to an inch up here and go down to an inch here. And then I'm going to go, I'm just going to watch to see where the score line is, or where the cut line is. So there's my score line. So and we're going to have to use our bone folder because this is like so much paper there, and it's like, what are you doing? Okay, so there's this, and then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to fold this in half. Now, you could try to do a score line and then fold it in half, but what I have found is it's just better to do it this way. So I'm folding it over like that. And again, burnish it. Aha! See, there's our, that's how you get that outside of it. So next we're going to do is, we have, this is 5.5. What you want is you want it to be about like 1/2 inch or 1/4 of an inch, and probably about 1/4 of an inch. This wider than this. This is 2 1/4, so you could do 2 3/4, and you still want it 5.5. 2 3/4. Let's see. 2 3/4. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to cut this at 2 3/4. Hopefully this works. Okay. And we're going to score it. This is 5.5. We're going to score it at 5. Put that down, and I won't even see because it's 5.5. We're going to score it at 5. Okay. So there's that. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this on there. I'm going to center it, and I'm going to draw lines on the edge. That side and that side. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut that off. I could have made this a little wider. I cut it at the score line too. And then there's one piece. This could have been a little wider, but hopefully this will still work. So there's that right there. Okay. Needs to be like that. So we're going to put a piece of strong adhesive on here. And this is where it gets a little, okay, wait, needs to be like, actually I could do it like this, no. Okay, because this is going to be the same size as this. Let me, it's like, I even made one last night, and I'm like, all right, so it needs to be like that, but we're gonna, okay, we're gonna do it like this. Okay, so we're gonna, there we go. Okay, so we're gonna have to shove this through here. There, you could do it a different way, but I found this to be the easiest to make sure that I was getting it exactly where it needs to be. So this is your pull, and it's hard because there's no, but see, that's your pull right there. Ta-da! Okay, we'll decorate it in just a minute, but what we're going to do now is we're going to get that Christmas on the inside. And that's going to be on your card base. This is the exact same size as your card base, so I've put that on there, and I'm just going to trace just the bottom of it, because now we're going to stamp the Christmas. Oh, I put it over here. Okay. All right, we're going to put it on the other side. All right, my stamp set is right here. Here's Christmas. Lots of stuff changing it, Stampin' Up. If you're a demonstrator, you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to talk about any of it yet. It's not that I can't, it's just that I need to research it more, and I'll probably put out a newsletter. Make sure, okay. Doing the same thing we did before. My embossing buddy. Where is he? He's right here. All right. This technique, what we're doing here, it is really best with photopolymer stamps, which I think that's all Stampin' Up's going to have after this year. But it's because you can see where you're putting it. The autumn one that we're making last is not photopolymer, so I've already got it set up so I can show you how I figured it out and everything. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Okay. We are done with gold. We're going to use white on the next card. Just put that away. All right. Here we go. right, so there's our Christmas. And my eraser, just make sure this is dry. Set that off to the side. We're gonna, well, actually, we're gonna go ahead and assemble the rest of this part before we put it on there. Okay, well, let's see how it looks. Okay, and this is gonna be bigger, obviously, because you've got this pull tab here, so it's not gonna fit into, a medium envelope, but sometimes you just have a fancy card. Yeah, see, isn't that cool? Okay, I'm glad I got that part right. Okay, so what I got here, and I'm going to show you the paper because it's so great. I showed it in my new products video. There's this sheet right here that has all of these, and there's a stamp that matches that, but what I did was I just die cut one of those. I did this one. So I've already got that, and obviously when you are using DSP, it is very thin, and you're not gluing that all the way on. So I die cut 2 more pieces of the heavy white or thick white. I can never remember which one it is. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting those together. So just heavy white, because we're not gluing the whole thing down, so it's going to be standing up, and it can tear easily if it's messed with, or if it's played with a bunch of times. And then we're going to glue. All right. So that makes it nice and sturdy. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. Okay, and then we've got this. This is one of the dies. I have all the dies sitting over here. Here's that one that I used for this. And here's this right here. That's Old Olive. This is Old Olive, so it's a little thicker than Designer Seniors paper. So we're going to have that, and then that. So what you want to do is you do not want to put any glue above where we folded it here, above this score line, because it moves. So if you had something glued to it, it's going to mess it up. So what I do is I just put just below that score line. Okay, so there's going to be some glue, but oh, I need a block. That's what I need to get it to stay down. Okay, let that finish. I've also got you can see on the top I have a bow. That's one of the dies right there, and it comes out in 3 pieces, and this is Pool Party. So here is that. We'll go ahead and start putting that together while we let that seal. Okay, so just want a little bit right there. Oh gosh. Okay, and then a little, I don't really need to put this on there because I put one of the, I embellishments in the middle of it, but it'll stay on there. Okay, so there's our cute little bow. All right. All right, got that one on there. Yeah, so cool. Okay, and then the same for this. So it looks I can get right up to where the top of the bow is. So I'm just going to put glue just on the bottom. Put the block back on there. Ah, it's so pretty. So pretty. This is just using so much of the paper, and the paper is so pretty. Now, if you have a stamp that says pull on it, the tractor has pulling, so I thought, oh, maybe I could ink it up just the part that pull, but I don't know. I mean, like I said, a lot of times when I give cards like this, I always sit by the person and show them what to do with it, because I do make a lot of different kinds of cards, not your standard size cards. Okay, isn't that cool? I've got, let me get my adhesive remover on there. Almost done with this one. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to put this on there, and we're just going to just glue the top to it, because the bottom of the bow is going to hang over. Just to kind of give it, you know, hey, look at me. All right, so now we're going to put these on, and then we're going to assemble it to the base. I'll show you how I do that too, because this is all the same size, so you're not centering it or anything like that, which is kind of nice. All right, so what do I got here? I got the big red down here. These are like flat sequins. Okay, and then I do two little ones up there. Let's go, come on. All right, and then I did one of the pool party ones right in the middle of the bow, just to give it a little more fanciness. Okay. Oh, and then this is from the modern Christmas stuff, but this is white and gold, and there's black and gold. So I'm just gonna do a bow, just to. You could stamp more stuff on that if you wanted to. All right. I'm going to use a glue dot. Put it right down here. Okay. Then our cute little bow. Okay, so there's our front. I want to, because we're doing, each card is using totally different stuff, so I want to try and clean up as much as I can. All right, so our base, where did I put it? I tossed it off to the side. What did I do with it? Oh, goodness. Am I looking right at it? Did I set it down somewhere else? Oh my gosh, I can't even find my base. My card base that we stamped. Oh, it's right here. Okay, here's our base. So I'm going to use the Misty again. This is what's nice, because it's all the same size. I'm going to put that down there. Now what I'm going to use on this is I am going to use dimensionals. So I'm going to use the foam adhesive strips. You don't have to do that. One of the cards we're using, all I did was put regular glue, but this one makes it stand out a little more. All right. Where's it sticky? Right there. Ooh. Okay. Okay, and then just going to do one here. One here. Okay. Yep, okay. So I got this, and I just got it right in the corner, and I'm going to take this right in the corner. Of course, it's got, there we go. There is our card. Ta-da! Isn't that cool? It's just, it's really cool. I mean, you could do so many different things with it. I'm going to show you 3 different things. All right, let me clean up a little bit. I'll go as fast as I can and get all the other things for the pink and green tree. I had so much fun making that because I love stuff like that. I love traditional colors. I love all that kind of stuff too. But I just thought it was really cute to do it in, you know, another kind that's not very traditional, you know, pink and green. Stampin' Up's always been usually pretty good with stuff like that because they've always had ones that are not traditional, and the Modern Christmas is definitely one of those. I do have one using the Modern Christmas too. I'll share it with you in a little bit. All right, so I don't need this stuff. I don't need this stuff. Put it over there. Okay. There you go. That was the most popular one. So you can see, not too hard. Once you start doing it, like for me, you know, once I started making it, I'm like, oh, okay, you know, I kind of remembered. And then, you know, I did this last week and then I got sick. And so I didn't do anything. We were having our floors done on the second floor. And, my bedroom is upstairs. I couldn't even go take a nap because I couldn't go up there. So it was a rough week. But anyway, so I hadn't done anything. So I'm like, oh, well, I'll make another one. And so I came in here 2 days ago to make another one to make sure I remembered how to do it because I don't want to do a video where, you know, oh no, what did I do? Okay, I hope I didn't do anything. I don't know why my mouse is down here. I hope you've been able to hear me the whole time. Okay, so this one is the pine tree trimmings. This is online, I believe. Yeah, it's online. And these are the dies that go with it. And I used cherry cobbler, petal pink, and soft sea foam. Alright, so I already stamped and die cut all the little presents because that just would take forever. I did the 2 longer ones, I did it with cherry cobbler. The 2 smaller ones I did with petal pink, and then all the bows are the soft sea foam. What we're going to do is we're going to do the tree first. And green, 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 green. Soft sea foam. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this stamp and that stamp. And we are going to have to use the Missy again for the sentiments, but I'll go ahead and do this. Oh, I already got them on the box. All right, so I'm going to do this one with soft seafoam. Soft seafoam on soft seafoam. Okay. You know what? I think I used the two-tone paper on that. The two-tone seafoam. Yeah, I did. Because, you know, the two-tone has it light and then dark. And I used, you can see where I had it before. I used it on the light. So, all right. Okay, there's that part of the tree. And then this one, I'm going to stamp on it in Versamark and make it look like there's snow on it. Okay, and then we'll die cut it. You don't have to worry if you get this exactly right. If you look at that one, I didn't get it exactly right, but it still looks good. Okay. All right. Let's see. I got spoons everywhere. You can see I use it when I re-ink my ink pads. I use the spoon to push it down and smear it around so it gets on everything. Alright, so just, it's a little subtle. It's not anything. You could do it in silver or gold or something and it would look a little more noticeable, but I just liked how it looked. It for embossing, heat embossing. I think that's it. Hopefully I didn't put it away. All right, so okay, let's see if this still works. Should. Back to this, which we're going to use it again. Oh, that's shifting. Oh, it's shifting. Okay, that doesn't work anymore. I'll use a different one. Okay. It's going to look good no matter what. Here's our cute tree. Okay. All right. So we got that set aside. Now this is the bottom of the other one that I cut with the nested essentials. So this is all centered. So I'm going to use this one. Kind of save a piece of paper since I wasted a piece of paper for these sentiments. Okay, so all right. Should have cleaned these and I forgot, but that's okay. All right. So we're going to use 'Tis the Season on the outside, and you can see they're already stained because oh, that's Sending Christmas Wishes. I think that's on the inside. 'Tis on the inside. All right, so okay. So this is the one, the very beginning where I traced the inside of it. And since I still have some of this, oh, you can't even see it, sorry. The paper is left, then I'm just going to use it on this side. All right, 'tis the season. Okay, cherry cobbler. Where's my cherry cobbler? There's that. Oh, it's right in front of me. Oh my gosh. Okay. Do it another time just to get it really noticeable. Okay. All right. So I'm going to erase those pencil lines. And this one we're not going to die cut it with anything. I'm just going to fussy cut it. Okay, so all I did with this was I just made it kind of like a hill, you know, like it's going to look different than that one. So just something like that. Okay, so we've got right here, we have got, I'm using Petal Pink instead of white. We're going to glue this on the bottom. I'm not using any other Designer Series paper on this one. Okay, so there we go. And now, oh no, look what I just did. I smudged it. Oh gosh. Okay. Oh, that was too fast. All right. Sorry. I am going to have to do this again. I probably should just leave it alone and then fix it later, but this isn't. Okay. Hopefully this one. Yep. Okay. So cherry cobbler again. And I do it twice just to give it so it really. Alright, I'm just going to set that aside and let it dry. Here, I can use my heat gun on it. Make sure it's. Alright, I will just try not to touch it. See, you can make mistakes. I will actually show you something that for the first card, that was the first one I made, so I was trying to do different things, and you know, I always try on scraps and stuff before. So what I did was when I went through to make this part right here, I forgot and I die cut it the whole way. Because you got to keep that top on there. So I've got these set out because I feel like I could make a card with this. But there you go. That's what happens when you're not paying attention. So everybody makes mistakes. Okay, so we're going to cut this again. It's going to look different every time I do it. All right. And glue it on the bottom of our Petal Pink here. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is we are going to now die cut it like we did the other one. It's on the bottom. Center, center. Okay, so this way. Again, we're gonna, oh, that's not. Hopefully that holds still. We're going to do the same thing we did before, is we're going to not cut the top part, so I'm going to line up my top cutting plate right on the bottom of that top, okay, so that it won't cut it. And that way you can run it all the way through. It's hard to, like, oh, stop it right here so it won't cut that part. It's just easier to line your cutting plate on there. So there we go. Okay, what we're going to do first is we are going to emboss it. I didn't want to emboss it before I cut it because when you run it back through, it will flatten some of it. This is the Snowflake Sky embossing folder. Just gives it lots of dimension to it. You're going to get some of it covered up, obviously, with your tree and your presents and stuff. Okay, I think this is 3D. Is it 3D? I think it is. So I wanted to do that after I die cut the frame out of it. So it, look at that. Then it's like, boom, it's like something totally different. Okay. I'm going to move this. Yeah. There you go. Oh gosh. Yeah. That just fell to the floor. It's fine. Alright, so we're about an inch from the top. An inch in. You could just use your bone folder and just, you know, run it across from side to side, but I like doing that a little better. Alright, so there's our fold. This isn't as bad because it's just cardstock. It's not the designer series paper on it. And then you see it kind of messes up your but we're covering it with so many things that it's okay. All right. And again, we need the thing that goes in the middle, and the other one was 2 3/4. I'm going to do 3. I'm going to do it a little bit wider. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Okay, and then I'm going to score it at 5. Okay. That's our little pop-up thing. Okay, and we're going to lay that on there, center it, and then we're going to cut it. Because you want this to be wider than your opening, but you don't want the only part is glued is this part, so you don't want that to be wider, because then it's not gonna make sense. All right. So where's my tape? Oh, my tape. I know it's here somewhere. I'm using, I think, every single type of adhesive I have. Since do I have tape in here? I don't think I do. I don't. What did I do with my tape? I see my glue dots. I see my foam strips. I don't see my tape. Did I move it? Did I lose it? Oh my gosh. I guess I could just use regular glue on this, but I don't know. I think the foam tape. Oh, here it is. It's underneath something. Okay. Here. Tear and tape. This is a really powerful one, and that's what you want. Okay. All right. Every time I do this, I'm like, okay, and then shove that back through there. Oh. Okay. All right. Oh, I did it. Did I do it the wrong way? I did. Oh, shoot. I need to flip it so it's like this. Yeah, there we go. I guess you could do it just that way. So when you pull it up. Okay. All right. All right. So then we're going to do this part. I can't remember what I have on the inside. It's 'Tis the Season and Sending Christmas Wishes. Okay. All right. Okay. So back to the Misty. All right. Sending Christmas Wishes. Right there. All right. And do it twice. So cute. All right. I'm going to get my other cleaner wet, and so I could do this, but because I'm going to have to take these off to do our last card, and that, when it's got cherry cobbler all over it, it's a mess. Okay. All right, so we got that, and we'll erase these. And we'll start putting all of our stuff on the front. Okay, set that off to the side, close this up. All right, here we go. I got a little bag. Where's my bag? I showed it to you. Oh my gosh. Here it is. All right, so there's our tree. What we're going to do is we're going to start with the presents. All right, so the cherry cobbler ones, they go on the edges, so you get to put glue all over that because, of course, it is sticking to embossed paper, so you got to push down a little bit. All right. Okay. And then our little ones, I can put adhesive on all of that, just not the bow. And then the bows, dogs are being so quiet. Nobody's home except my husband, and he works upstairs. My middle son came home today for 5 minutes to pick up stuff that he forgot. We moved him into his dorm this last weekend. But he's a sophomore this year, so he can have a car. So that makes it a lot easier for us, because otherwise we had to go pick him up all the time. Okay, so there's our little cute presents, and then here is our tree, and I got a star, all these dies, everything is from the pine tree. So again, we're only, oh, let's move him, let's see, move him over, put him all the way on the edge. Oh, I could still move them a little bit. Of course, the bows want to come off, but all right. And then this bow. Okay. And then the tree. So we're only going to put it down below the score line. You don't want any glue above the score line or it's not going to work. So I think that's, go up a little more. Okay. Get my block. And then I used iridescent pearls all over it. Make it look like snow. Even though the embossing folder makes it look like snow, I just thought it looked prettier. Okay. So, okay. All right. So, I just put them all over the place. You can't really go wrong with these, with embellishments. They always look good. Put one down there. One here. Oh, that's another big one. Put that one there. Then, ooh, these are so tiny. Oh gosh. There, then one right there. Ta-da! Okay, now we need to put it all together on our card base. And I used more of the foam strips on this one. On the last one, the Autumn Leaves one we do, it's not going to have foam strips. So you don't have to do that. But sometimes it just... Okay. And back to these. Wait. You don't put any up here because this is where the paper needs to slide, obviously. But this keeps everything else where it needs to be. Okay. my youngest son, he's a senior in high school, and so they made his schedule all wrong, like they like they normally do. And so he's trying to fix it, and he's like, no, they said I could do it, blah, 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 because he's a senior. So when you're a senior, you get online classes, which means you go to school late or leave early or both. He wanted to do both. Right now he's going 2 hours later than he used to, and their school starts before 7 a.m. So now I don't even have to set an alarm, because I mean, I get up automatically. So there you go. There's that one. Now for the tops of these, you can see on some of the other ones I shared, like this one for the tractor, I put that in there, so you could put ribbon. And I put the bow on the other one. These are, oh, I don't know where it is, but it's a punch. So you could do that, or you could do a circle and put ribbon through it, or whatever. But, okay, so there's our second one. All right. Now is our last one. And this one is a little different. It's the same technique and everything, but I'm using a different size textured notes dies on it. Okay, so this one, blessed to have you in my life. Okay, so I used a bigger die on that, and this is with, I've got it all sitting right here. This is the Amber Autumn. Okay, so we're going to use the acorns, and there's a die for it. And the paper, though, is part of the gathering that's online. And so it is so pretty. It's got metal in it. I hope you can tell. All right, I'm going to go ahead and glue this down, because this is... things here. So we're going to go ahead and stamp our acorn. What I'm doing is I'm using Early Espresso, and I'm going to use a blender pen, and I'm going to use it with crumb cake, Cajun craze, and crushed curry. Okay, so this is Early Espresso. Okay. So with my blender pen, I just went ahead and pulled some of that ink to make the tops, and the stem darker. You could, obviously if you were doing this with Memento, then you can use your blends and everything. All right, this is Cajun Craze. Oh, I didn't need to open them all the way. I got some ink in the lid there. It's almost like a watercolor effect. Just gives it a little makes it look a little different. And then this is crushed curry. Uh-oh, I hear a puppy. I love fall leaves. We don't get them in Florida, but my mom is from Tennessee, so when I was young and my grandparents were still with us, they lived in Tennessee, and we would always go up in the fall, and I loved it. But I love Florida too. Okay, so real easy coloring. It does not have to be perfect because watercoloring is not perfect. Okay. All right, so we're going to die cut it. Let's see. It's right here. It's this one. Hope it looks good. I'm just gonna, since all my supplies fell to the floor, I'm gonna have to pick them all up. I'm just gonna die cut this over here. And we'll die cut, obviously, the opening and all that. I'll do that in front of you, but just make it a little easier. Where's my other? Oh, it's right here. Oh no. That's my neighbor's dog, and I'm really surprised my dachshund hasn't responded. And my dachshund, he thinks he is a Doberman. Okay, so there's that. And I already die cut this one right here for these two pieces, two leaves. This is Cajun Craze. Alright, so here's what we need to do. We got that part done. Alright, we are going to use, instead of this die, we're going to use the next biggest one. And I did that because the sentiment I wanted to use is bigger. I want to make sure that this is right. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to center that on here. Does that look right? A little more to the top. Okay. Okay. Now I have another MISTI here, and because these are cling stamps, what I did was I cut a piece of basic black so that I could use this to try and determine where it needs to go, because you can't see through them. So that one's a little too low, so what I'm going to do, that one's perfect, so I'm leaving that one there. I'm taking that off, and I'm going to try to get it a little lower. So that part is all the way there and there. Just going to move it down a little bit, and I'm going to stamp it, make sure it looks right, and then I'm going to put that in there to do it. Ooh. Ooh, no, see, that looks terrible. I did that wrong. See, it's all crooked. All right. All right, so too far down. Well, actually, all right. All right, I need to move that. I guess it's covered in ink. All right, let's try this again. All right, that's much better, but it needs to be, it needs to be, oh gosh. Alright, let's try this again. Alright, there we go. Okay. So that's how I did it, was I just kept doing that until I had it the way I wanted it. So, oh gosh, my tape fell off of my magnet. These things scare me. Alright, so we're going to just, okay. dry before I put my paper on it. All right. Oh, no. There. Let's see. Okay. All right. So there's our front. And what I did with this is I just cut it straight. You can see I just cut it straight with my trimmer, which is right here. So you can see that Blessed to Have You in My Life would not have fit into this one. It might have a little, almost, but I didn't want it to be so close to the edge because then it just doesn't look as good. All right, so how tall is this? This is 2 inches, so 2 inches. Oh, that puts that so close. Let's do 2 1/8. Okay, so there's that. All right. So we are going to glue this on there, and then I will take the pencil marks off. And then we're going to have to die cut it. And this is the basic beige. So not white. Now you could always do a white base because you can't even see the base until obviously you open the card. But because this is basic beige, I was like, I made the base that same color too. Of course, when you open it, you can see the inside part on it. So, okay. Okay, and then we're going to use this again. All right, and we're going to die cut this like we did the other two. You don't want to cut the top of it. All right. Don't fall, nothing fall. Okay. Line it up right there so that the top does not cut off. So there we have that. And again, it's more paper, so, and I'm going to need to put a score line. Let's see. That is about 3/4 down and about 3/4 over, so 3/4. 3/4. Okay. All right. And then this part is hard when it's thick like this, but we did it on the first one, that all red. Okay. And there's our thing there. All right. So this is our, oh, well, we need to make our pull thing. Okay. So this is 5.5, I think, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. So about like right here. Okay. Okay, and then we're going to score it at 5. that on there. So you cut, I just cut past the score line and then at the trace line, and then cut the score line. So all right, and okay. So you just got a little bit at the top. So cool. All right, so now we're going to trace this on here. And we're going to stamp our other sentiment, which I really don't even need to trace it because I've already got it in there. And I'm going to have to clean that because that looks scary. And that will make it on the top. Of course, it'll be covered. It will be covered by that. So you know what? I'm okay. Actually, I'm still going to clean it. You won't be able to see it. But you might still see a little, because it's going to be wet, you'll see a little bit of it. But the whole other part of it's going to cover it up. Grateful for you. Okay. We're almost done. Okay, so there's that. Here's this. Gotta go ahead and decorate it. And then when you pull it up, grateful for you right there. Okay, so we've got leaves here, and here's my acorns. So we're gonna put the leaves down first. I'm just gonna put it up to like right there. Actually, I'm gonna use this. See, hopefully it works. Yep, it's working. Because they hang off the edge. Okay, and same for this one. Oh my gosh. All right. And then we'll put this one in there and not put glue over all of it. And then we'll add some of our embellishments. All right, so I'll just put glue. Let's see. Put glue on this part. And then I don't want to put too much glue on there. I'm going to have to take off some of that glue. Stay still. Oh. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, no, not yet. All right, so I've got two different kinds of embellishments here. One is from, do I have one here? I do. Okay. One is from the Amber Autumn. You know, there's a suite for that. I didn't get all of it. I just got the stamps and the dies and all the embellishments and ribbon. It is this one. This is brown dots, brown streak dots, and then this is the one that's for the online gathering. This is Cajun Craze in gold. So I used a little of both. No, just you. All right. So we're gonna do 1, 2, 3 of these. These are really pretty. Okay, and then one right in the middle. Okay, and then put these away before. It's like after I finish live, I just walk away. I don't even clean up my table. I walk away and I go eat lunch. And then later that night, I come in here and clean it up. Oh my gosh. Having a hard time getting it out there. There we go. All right. And I'm going to use the medium-sized ones of this. This is really pretty too. It's got gold in it. Just to give it a little oomph on there. And then the ribbon, or it's twine or whatever, it is, I think this is part of the autumn one, not the online one. So it's got autumn and old olive. And I'm just gonna trying to do this. I want to make it kind of big. All right, there we go. Now, there we go. Ooh. Okay, got our big bow here. Use a glue dot. This one I did really long and I put glue dots on the end, but this one doesn't have as long on here. So maybe it'll calm down a little bit here. All right, so let's glue it on to our card base. And we're just going to use regular glue for this. This was Dimensionals. The tractor is just with regular glue. This Santa is just with regular glue. So you just want to be careful. You don't want to get glue close to where your pull thing is. Okay. And that's almost easier, but it's still, you could do it either way. All right. I think we're done. So, all right, so we made all three. I hope that is what everybody wanted to see. So this one is a little different because it's got a bigger cut opening. So obviously you saw these two because that was some of my options. And then this one is with the Modern Christmas. 'Tis the season, be jolly. And it's all black and white and gold. And so what I did to add some color to it was I used strawberry slush. So lots of black and gold and white, but then I added strawberry slush. So there's another idea. All right, well, that was an hour and a half. So I knew it was going to be a long one. So I hope you guys liked it and you understand. And if you got any questions, you can always let me know. And I will, like I said, there's, new things happening and stuff. So I will be working on my newsletter. Hopefully by tomorrow I'll be ready to go. And if you're not a demonstrator, all this stuff will be available to you next month. So if you have any questions, let me know. Have a great day. See you guys.